just starting my senior year at Virginia Tech as a double major in mathematics and English, both with concentrations in education, I've begun to realize that I didn't really have confidence when it came to technology. I didn't really like technology, and technology sure as heck didn't like me. Every single time I attempted to use it, it would shut down or it would malfunction, or I just felt completely and utterly lost. And with technology, you have to have that confidence, or else you're not going to know what you're doing and you're not going to be open to trying new things. And because of that, I've kind of avoided technology over the past 5 years. I would have to say there is one specific instance in which I decided technology just wasn't my thing. As a high school student, I had become accustomed to like the typical technologies, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and the TI-83s we were required to have in my AP Calculus class. But I also got the opportunity to use AutoCAD and Autodesk Inventor. Those computer programs are so fun, they're really easy to grasp, and they're kind of cool. Like you get to do 3D modeling and you can create all these images. It was a cool experience to have as a high schooler. When I came to Virginia Tech, I came in as an engineering student with the intention of being a mechanical engineer and going off to get a biomedical engineering degree and be the next big innovator in prosthetic joints. That's what I wanted to do. So I came into school, and they went, okay, you need a computer. Okay, I need a computer. That's good. You need a tablet computer. Well, what the heck is a tablet? I have no idea. But okay, I guess I can get that. They said, get a Fujitsu tablet. It's the best one. We have a 4-year warranty on it. Well, that's because Virginia Tech endorses Fujitsu, and Fujitsu gives them X amount of money every year so that they can sell their computers here. Yeah, definitely not the best purchase I've made in my life. The Fujitsu tablet is good to a point. The reason we were required to have it was so that we could take that screen, we could twist it around, turn it down, take notes in class, draw out our diagrams that were part of our homework assignments, and send them in. That's great in theory, but it didn't always work. Sometimes you'd go to draw a line and it would, instead of drawing it right here, it would draw it up here. Or you would go to draw a line and nothing would show up, or the computer would just die. So through using this computer, I gradually grew more and more to dislike technology. I also had to use Autodesk Inventor on this computer because it was required for freshman engineering. Yeah, not so great on a laptop. That program is meant to be run on a PC, and when it's run on a laptop, it can cause the laptop to stall or just completely shut down because the computer itself does not have enough energy to run the program. So through using the program, I grew to kind of dislike the program. When in reality, it's not the program's fault, it was the computer's fault and me for trying to run it on a laptop. But throughout this entire experience, I grew to hate technology. I was afraid to use it. I didn't like using it in class. I didn't like using it for assignments. But there's only so much you can do when you're in an engineering major and it's required for you to use the technology. Do I feel like this initial opinion would have affected my teaching? I'm going to have to say yes. I had no confidence when it came to technology, nor did I really want to use it. So how would that help me in the classroom? I'd be afraid to use it because if a student came up to me and said, "Hey, Mrs. Brewer, I got an error and I have no idea how to use this program. Can you fix it?" No. We're going to have to call the technical guy because I don't know what I'm doing. That doesn't make me look like a credible teacher. And I don't want my students not to think of me as a credible teacher. Because that's just not what I want. And I don't want to be in the middle of trying to use a technology or trying to use a smartboard or even a PowerPoint, and for it all of a sudden to malfunction, me to be up in front of the class like, okay guys, this malfunctioned, so I guess class is done. That that really doesn't look good in front of your students. You want your students to look up to you as the adult, as the person who knows more than them, technically. But they're not going to look up to you and they're not even going to respect you if you don't know how to handle yourself in front of them, especially with the growing amounts of technology that we have. So as teachers, we have to be on top of this. And with my initial views on technology, I would have been the typical student teacher that you see that goes up in front of the class and something goes wrong and I completely panic because I have no idea what I'm doing. Do I feel like this would have helped or hindered my teaching in the mathematics classroom? Well, I'm going to have to say that it definitely would have hindered my teaching because technology is becoming such a huge part of mathematics, especially in the high school classroom. And I want to be a high school teacher. I know teachers now that are flipping their classrooms, which means they're going into the classroom every day and having these interactive experiences with the students, and then the students go home and watch a 15-minute lecture of their professor on the computer. If I'm not comfortable with technology, how am I going to be able to flip a classroom? There are also teachers out there that are using the CAS Navigator system through Texas Instruments, and these are so cool with the calculators. The kids sit there, they go through the lesson, they're interacting, the teacher can even pull up on the screen who's doing what, have a different student explain something to the entire class, their own process of thinking. It's so much more interactive. You can do so much more with technology. And with my initial aversion to it, there's no way I would have tried any of that because I would have been too afraid that something was going to mess up in the middle of the classroom and all of my students were going to laugh at me. That doesn't make any teacher have confidence. And because of that, I wouldn't have tried the TI CAS system and the Navigator or worked on getting a grant for my students to have iPads in the classroom or even attempted to flip a classroom because I would have been too scared that I would mess up. This semester, I'm taking a Mathematics for Secondary Teachers with Technology course. Do I feel like this course has changed my opinion of technology? Well, honestly, I would be lying to you if I told you no. This course has completely changed my idea of what technology is, how it should be used, how it can be used in the classroom. I feel like I have so much more confidence in the technology that I'm using now than I did when I started my college career at Virginia Tech as an engineering student. I'm so happy that I switched to mathematics education and added on that English education major because it's really given me the opportunity to become comfortable with technology. In this class, one of the first things we did was watch a TED Talks video by Conrad Wolfram, in which he addresses how to teach kids real mathematics with computers. Wow, I would think about that beforehand and think, oh, I can't do that. My students aren't going to be able to learn computers from me because I don't even understand computers. But now I realize that there are so many more benefits to using computers and technology in the classroom. If you use computers to kind of bridge that gap between the mathematics that they have in the classroom and the mathematics that they're going to see every day out in the real world, then we might actually get students who enjoy math. Unlike the weird kids like me and everybody else in my class. But through using computers and calculators and the iPads and Other types of technology like that, we might be able to instill confidence in our students and thus get them to really own their own mathematical understanding. I used to work at the Math Emporium at Virginia Tech a couple semesters ago, and I noticed a lot of the kids just use the calculators, even for small calculations like 2 times 20 gives you 40. That I know I can do in my head, and I know they can do it in their head. But they're just not doing it because the calculator is right up in that corner, easy access, totally can do it for themselves. Like they don't even need to think. The calculator does it for them. Well, unless you know exactly how to put some of the functions into that calculator, you're going to get the wrong answer because you're plugging it in wrong. And students look at a calculator as an easy way out. But us as teachers, we have to look at that and look at that as a challenge and think, okay, so our kids are using this as the easy way out. How do I combat this? Okay, well, I'll get them into it where we've got the basics. We go through the basics, they understand it, they know how to do it. Well, instead of doing drill after drill after drill, I'll teach them how to do it on the calculator. But not only am I going to test them on their calculator knowledge, I'm going to test them on their handwritten basic knowledge as well, thus encouraging the students not to lose that information. Technology can be so helpful if you know how to implement it the right way.